Hello, my name is Tim Valentine. I'm a Team Beachbody coach, and recently I started doing a series of articles on resistance bands, and they'll be on my blog. I'll put a link below this video that you can go click on it and go, if you have interest in reading the different articles and learning about using resistance bands. There should be some information there that you may find helpful. And there's basically two different types of bands that I have used. There's probably more than that out there, but there's a flat band that comes in a loop. And those are really great. I mean, I use those for putting around my legs when I do like a Tai Chi exercise. So it helps me to focus my legs. It helps strengthen my legs. Also use it for doing some shoulder exercises. You'll put one on each end and pull, but you can do that with the tubular bands too. I don't have any of those to show you today, but I do have the tubular bands, and these are the ones I use the most. And you can see a couple of them a little bit marked up. It's from my shoes. One thing I would suggest if you're going to use bands, find a shoe that doesn't have the black sole and the sole doesn't peel off onto the band when you're using it. And so I have a number of different weights and sizes of bands. I have actually about 12 different bands that I use, and different handles. I've got bands that have handles that are the band and the handle all in one. And I really don't like those because if the band goes bad, you got to throw the whole thing away, and you know, it seems to be it's a little more expensive when they come together. What I like to do is I like the deals where the handles are separate. In this particular case, you can see here where the band just clips into the handle, and then if the band goes bad, you just pop it out and put in another band, and you're good to go again, and you can just reuse the handles. The handles last quite a while. They're pretty durable. The other thing that I like about this particular setup is the handle is really flexible, so when I pack for traveling, this packs down pretty good. Also, when I use my door attachment, I have a door attachment that just loops around the hinge, and you'll see this if you have the 10-minute trainer from Beachbody. That's where I got that attachment from. And then this will fit through that loop. I have another handle that I use, and I like it for certain cases. I'm losing everything here. And for certain exercises, it works extremely well. But it's a hard plastic handle. It's a lot bigger, and you know, the top spins and more durable. But it doesn't pack quite as nicely as the other one. The other thing it has that I like is that it actually has 3 slots in it, and you can see I have two bands in here, and so some exercises I may not want as much resistance on, but if I wanted to, if I'm doing pull-ups and I want a lot more resistance, I can take and put a couple of heavy bands on here and use them in different combinations, and I can increase the number of combinations and types of resistance or amount of resistance I can have on different types of exercises. So a lot more flexible that way. Otherwise, what I end up doing is hanging on the 2 handles if I want to put 2 bands and kind of working it this way. It's a little more convenient that way if I need to get more of a workout. But again, it's still, the handles are detachable, and it was about $20 for this set of handles. The other ones are probably like $3 or $4. They're not nearly as expensive, and so it's all up to you on the preference that you like to use. But if you're a really avid exerciser, and I won't say extreme, but if you're using heavy weights and you're pulling a lot on the band, so if you're very tall and you're pulling the bands up over your head and doing the shoulder exercises, or you're doing curls and you're really stretching the bands out, you might want to look at a higher quality band. And I'll go through the different qualities of bands in my articles over the next week or so, and so you'll get kind of an idea of what's available out there. I'm kind of an average workout person, so I don't overstress my bands. I found I've had very good luck with the bands that I get at Beachbody, and they hold up very nicely. They're competitively priced for the type of band that they are, and for the quality. So I think you get a good bang for your buck there. I've also bought bands at my local fitness place. The big difference is that I got to remember what the tensile strength is, because I always kind of like to remember, if it's a weighted at a 50 pounds or 90 pounds or whatever the weighting is on the band, I got to remember that, so that when I go get another band and replace it, I can get one that's very similar. The color scheme is different for each vendor. And then also the tensile strength, they may be labeled as the same tensile strength, but they're going to be a little bit different. So once you get a vendor that you like for providing you with these bands, I would suggest sticking with them unless you really have a quality problem with them. You might as well stick with the same vendor. That way, if you want to go replace your band, you just go get one with the same color, and you know it's the same strength and the same resistance on it, and the same quality. You know what to expect. And there is a big difference. I would suggest that you stay away from the really cheap bands. You want something that gives you a good quality and a good decent price, but stay away from the cheap bands because they're not manufactured that well and they do come apart. And if they do come apart and snap, you know, it's like if somebody snaps you with a rubber band, it kind of stings a bit. This is a really big rubber band, so it would hurt. So kind of keep that in mind. And then I've been kind of playing with this band, and what I'm doing as I'm talking to you is I'm checking the finish of the band, and I kind of pull on it a little bit. And basically, what I'm looking for are any blemishes in the band. So if there's any holes, little air pockets, and once you overstretch them, you'll see that those air pockets will start to form. It's kind of like if you get an old rubber band and you pull it apart, and you know it's lost a lot of its stretch. You'll see it when it start to pull it apart, how it's kind of brittle, and the bands will be the same way. And you don't want to use one when it looks like that, because they will snap for sure, and it's not worth it. They're not that expensive. I think my most expensive band was, my heaviest band was maybe $15 for the band or $20 for the band, somewhere in there. So it's not that expensive, and it's not worth getting injured over. So about every 6 months to a year, I'll go get another set of bands. And you really kind of have to keep that in mind, and how much you use it, how much you stretch them, and get a sense for whether the tension strength is holding up. What I like to do is rotate my bands through, so that I always have new bands to compare the old bands to. And once I start feeling the old bands not anywhere near what the new band is, that I just get rid of it. Even if I can't see anything wrong with the finish on it and no blemishes in it, I still it's probably beyond its usefulness, and you should really replace them. Safety is a big thing with that, so you don't want them snapping on you. Anyway, I'll have more videos and more articles out on bands over the next week or two. I plan on doing a series of videos. Anyway, until next time, enjoy your workouts. If you have comments on bands and things you want to look at, or your experience with your bands, please feel free to comment on this video. Until next time, cheers.